All right, to swap gears a little bit, we did just see a bit of a slugfest base race. Now, I don't have this one in stone, but Gasty, if you guys watched the Flamefest tournament, showed us a really cool Juggernaut deck. I've been playing with this Juggernaut deck. It's really cool. You can base race with it, you can just murder things as they spawn, or you can camp pads. I don't know what we're about to see, but Gasty versus BlueSky here in this Command & Conquer Rivals replay request. It's going to be our next game here, Jeffrey.
I'm looking forward to it. Gasty and that Juggernaut, I tell you, it makes grown men cry.
Makes grown men cry. Well, yeah, that's a great way to put it, actually, because it feels like you're in control against this deck until that first Juggernaut comes out, and unless you have like an Ion Cannon or a Jade Missile or some kind of Suicide Bomber, it feels pretty bad afterwards.
It does. Like, what do you do once it's set up? And it fires so fast. Like, that's the thing that gets me, is how quickly that Juggernaut keeps firing.
Yeah, so unless you can kind of break the wall there, you're going to have a bad time. This is a really good map for it here as well. Not only do we have, the dogs here from BlueSky being defended here by Gasty, but Gasty feels in a good enough position, only seeing these dogs, to go for the second Harvester. And I was talking to him about this. Like, the key is when you feel comfortable, you go for the second Harvester. And again, like, even if these dogs kill these rockets, like, they're not going to kill the Harvesters, right?
No, they're not. But the smart thing that BlueSky is doing here is actually blocking off those Tiberium patches. So Gasty is not getting as much value as he needs.
But he does take down the jump jets before they even get halfway through a Harvester. And there's another big important point here going. BlueSky hasn't really been charging the pad. He is now only taking control of the pads. And that means that this first missile has now been delayed a good, 30, 40, 50 seconds?
Something like that, yeah, for quite a while.
All right, so he goes into the tech lab, double Harvester out. The pop cap is definitely hurting. And this is expected. This is completely fine. We've stalled. We've kept a lot of control here on the Gasty side. Next unit, it's going to be a Juggernaut.
Well, I remember you saying before that essentially you just lose the first missile. Like, there's not really much you can do there. So
Oof.
It's the second missiles when you start to really set up.
And this is why. Because you set up,
there it is.
You have the view, and it murders everything. That's all it does. It just keeps murdering
infantry,
everything.
vehicles, even your own Harvester.
Now, to be fair, Gasty denied his own Harvester with that original volley. That means BlueSky doesn't get the 100. That's what that means.
Oh, is that true?
That is true. You deny it, you don't get the 100. Your opponent didn't kill it. Now, that being said, you can't deny it with a lot of things, but you can still deny it. So we're playing.
Oh, man.
We're playing
Troopers with Juggernaut.
Yep.
Oh, that's gross.
This is a lot like your MG deck, where you play around that multi-range unit. This is just a late game MG deck. That's really all this is. So
yeah, it looks that way.
He's moving it up. He's got zone troopers, which is terrible for BlueSky because they go down very quickly. And now you block with the turrets. You've seen the turret used in defense. You've used it here in block. And the zone troopers, because they're squad based and they heal between matches here, right? They don't die easy to the friendly fire.
And what an excellent placement for that Juggernaut. I mean, it's just got control of the entire field.
Two hammerheads.
What is BlueSky going to do?
Two hammerheads just went down without firing a single shot, Gasty. My God. So you don't care about infantry-based anti-infantry because they die in one volley. All you care about is anti-vehicle and anti-air, which is exactly what the zone trooper's for. You use this turret for vision, for blocking, and you murder everything.
Everything. Like, look at this. I mean, in one swell swoop, he took over the entire battlefield just with one Juggernaut and a few zone troopers. Oh man, I get what you mean. Like, this is crazy powerful.
Crazy. It can be. So, again, the big mistake here from BlueSky is he didn't charge pads. He was harassing the Harvester, and he eventually got one.
Right.
Well, no, that's a lie. He got it denied. But so he eventually brought it down low enough that it died. But the delay on the pads and the delay on the first nuke is a big game changer for a double Harvester deck that relies on this. And any kind of double Harvester tech deck really does rely on delaying the first pad as much as you can. And if you lose it, it's cool. If you've done enough of a job to continue on the game, it doesn't matter that you lose it. Now, if you win it, it's even better because you don't have to win the next one. But Yeah, it's you can shut this stuff down, and I'll show you guys how later. But yeah, it's a really good, interesting kind of cool. If you don't want the early game MG, go for the late game Juggernaut. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do in this game right now.
Well, and an interesting point to make is GDI against that deck. There's not a lot of options to deal with that Juggernaut. I mean, really, the only one is Orcas, right?
Yeah, Orcas and Ion Cannons.
Yeah, exactly, right. And if you don't have either of those things, Orcas aren't typically run that much. And even then, with the Zone Trooper setup, the Orcas wouldn't be a problem. So really, the Ion Cannon's kind of your only option with GDI. With Nod, you have a few more options. You could throw out an Inferno, for example. But yeah, that just feels bad for GDI with that deck. Wow, he just completely controlled the second and third missile, like completely.
A no Harvester deck would work out great against it, and that's what we're going to show you here next by our good friend Jeffrey.